When I was maybe 8 or 9, I had one of those nights where I just couldn't sleep. The room was a little too hot, and I'd spent the whole day inside eating popsicles and watching TV. Now, there was this weird buzzing in my ears, and my whole body felt twitchy, like it was punishing me for spending the day on the couch. Worst of all was my pillow. It had never been this lumpy before. The case had gotten sweaty right away, and then it was like immediately wet again after I turned it over. No matter how much I tossed and turned, I just couldn't get comfortable. Finally, I got up and walked downstairs, where my dad was watching baseball. Seeing me, he muted it and asked if I needed anything. I shrugged. My pillow sucks. That's all. He nodded, then he got this weird smile and said, maybe it's Mr. Pillow. First, you kind of need to know that my dad is a total goofball. My mom had left when my sister Madison and I were little, but he had stepped up in a big way, loving us double. He was always the one to tell us stupid ghost stories on camping trips about demon-possessed deer or bears who loved the smell of girls' shampoo, and then of course he'd come rattle the tent in the middle of the night and scare us out of our minds. I'm just going to get some water and then head back to bed, I said. I looked over at the TV. The Brewers were losing by like 8 runs, so maybe he was trying to distract himself. He was a real creep, said my dad, ignoring me. Of course, he wasn't called the Mr. Pillow back then. I think his name was Douglas something. Loved sneaking into kids' rooms and then strangling them to death. Thanks for that, I said, pouring myself a glass of water. That's definitely going to help me sleep. Of course, they caught him eventually, said my dad. Big trial and everything. But before he ever got convicted, his cellmate suffocated him to death with a pillow. Got it, I said. I turned to the fridge and found some leftover pizza. Then I carefully started picking off the pepperoni as my dad continued. The weird thing came the next night, said my dad. They found the cellmate dead too. Suffocated. Except there'd been no one in the cell to do the deed. Now I know what you're thinking, it was probably the guards, right? Maybe. But then other people started dying. Other prisoners who'd messed Douglas. All suffocated in their beds. That's when they started calling him Mr. Pillow. Oh. I said. So spooky. And then kids in the neighborhood near the prison started dying too, said my dad. Their moms would come in and find them dead in their beds. And the only thing linking the deaths was that some of the kids had mentioned being uncomfortable in their beds the night before, asking if their parents had switched out the pillows or anything. Dad, I said. This is the dumbest thing ever. Just stop. And then in the morning, they'd find the kids' old pillows stashed away somewhere, and on the bed, there'd be no pillow at all. Like it had just disappeared. I didn't even acknowledge that last part. I just hit the bathroom and walked up to bed. Soon enough, I heard the sounds of the baseball game come back on the TV as my dad unmuted it. Then, as I approached my room, I swore I heard footsteps and the creak of a window. I walked inside and looked at my bed. And I'm not fucking kidding, there was no pillow on my bed. The window was open a crack, and I ran over to it. It was dark and rainy outside, and I didn't see anyone out there. Finally, I closed the window, making sure it was locked tight. My heart was beating about 1,000 beats a minute now. I walked over to my closet and opened it. Inside, I saw my usual pillow sitting on the floor. I screamed and ran downstairs as fast as I could. Dad! I shouted. He turned the game off right away and ran over to me. I tried to explain about the window, the pillow, everything. It was just a stupid story, right? I asked. The stupidest. My dad nodded. I just made it up, he said. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have scared you. Mr. Pillow. Really? I thought you were old enough, and it wouldn't freak you out. The whole time he was talking though, he looked kind of nervous. Suddenly, his eyes went wide. Wait here on the couch, he said. I'd better run up and check on Maddie. I'd never seen my dad run so fast. He pounded up the stairs 2 at a time. And the whole time he was gone, I imagined my little sister dead, or dying, screaming for her life as the soft pillow wrapped around her face, choking the life out of her. I couldn't believe I'd run downstairs without checking on her first. A few seconds later, he came down, my sleeping sister in his arms. I was thinking it might be a fun night for us all to cuddle up on the couch, he said. What do you think? My dad never mentioned Mr. Pillow again after that. But of course, he didn't have to. Even now that I'm in my 30s, I still double-check the inside label of my pillow every night before I go to sleep, making sure it's the usual one. Every once in a while, I still hear about some kid in my town dying overnight. Of course, I have my theory about what happened, but I figure there's no point in sharing it. Who would ever believe a story as stupid as Mr. Pillow, right? I'm sorry. I know how this all sounds. I just wanted to share it in case it helps someone else out there. Before you go to bed tonight, just check inside your pillowcase. Make sure you recognize the label inside. It just might save your life.